So today I have to make this wiring diagram that came with the head unit match up properly with the wiring diagram that came in the factory unit from the car. Okay, so today I'm going to try and wire my new radio into my existing radio harness that's in the car. It's never done anything like this before, so I don't want it to blow up because this was quite expensive. But I think I got it, and I'll explain along the way. So the first thing I needed to address is these 8 outputs here. So we have positive and negatives for the front, rear, left, and right speakers. There's 8. The problem is in my car there's only 4 wires coming out of the radio, which is for the positive, negative for the left, and the positive, negative for the right. So what I think I'm going to end up having to do is splice the positives for one side together, splice the negatives for one side together. So based on this table here, we have the right front and rear positive, right front and rear negative, left left front and rear positive, and left front and rear negative. So I'm going to combine these into one furrow and then connect it to that one wire that's inside the car, and then hopefully that's four wires essentially. Well, 4 wires essentially, and then that should run the speakers. The next thing is on this side, which is the ignition, antenna, remote, illumination, battery, and power ground. So far I have it figured out that the red is power, black is ground, illumination is orange, but in the car I'm not sure what color wire that is. And the yellow here, I think yellow is the ignition. These sets of wires I'm not too confident on just yet. I'm gonna play around with them. Also bought another set of these just in case these get burnt or fried. But that's the one I'm mostly concerned about. This is one wire for one wire, and I know where most of these wires go already. So I'm gonna get to that, and then we'll go to the car, and then I'll explain further. Okay, now I have all the spade connectors fitted. So we have the 4 wires now for the positive and ground for the left and right sides. They're heat shrinkable, but I'm not heat shrinking until I know it works. So we have the 4 here, and then we have the 5 here for the other side. And now we need to put the other side connectors on the radio wires that's coming from the car. So now on to the wires that are inside the car. It's a rat's nest because the person before me hacked it up for some reason, but yet kept the stock radio. This is the stock radio here, right? Plays cassettes. When I first got the car, I played the radio, Power 105.1. It's a vibe, whatever. And then I was like, let's see if the cassette player works. So I went inside, grabbed an Aaliyah grabbed an Aaliyah cassette, put the cassette in. The cassette did not play, and the cassette got stuck. So right now the radio is stuck in cassette mode. I don't know how to put it back into regular radio mode. I press all the buttons and it does not work, so that's fine. But I know that the radio functions, meaning all the wires inside the dashboard go to this and do work. So I'm not worried about the wires being wrong. I'm more so worried about me putting the wrong wire in the wrong spot. So we have here a black wire that's actually, hold on, let's see if I can grab it, a white wire. The previous owner decided to, not be consistent. That's fine. And here's what I was mentioning about the 4 wires here. So the yellow wires represent the left-hand side speakers in the front and the back, and the blue wires represent the speakers on the right-hand side. Did I say that twice? On the right-hand side of the car. Again, the previous owner decided to hack it up for whatever reason. But now I have these wires here. These 4 wires are represented by this harness here. So there's positives and negatives for both of them, and they should theoretically work that way. We're gonna find out. And then we have the antenna itself. That's what this is here. I need an adapter for the new radio that I have because this pin here is actually too thick. And then we have here the purple and white wire, or violet they say in the book, violet and white wire, and the brown wire, which is the power wire and the ground wire. Remember, if it's brown, it's ground. But these two wires here is what's giving me the most like nervousness about just plugging this in and turning it on, because in the manual there is no red and white wire. There is no red and white wire. There's a red and green wire which connects to the, I just had it. What does it connect to? I'm gonna put that in here. It connects to that. And then this red and white wire connects to something else. Now on the end of the radio here, we have what that plugs into. So this plugs into this. It can only plug in one way. Let me show you. So the red and green wire only connects to the yellow wire, and the white and red wire only connect to the white wire. And on here, it says battery, right? BTRY, battery. I don't know if that means one of these is the ignition, one of these is the illumination. I'm tempted to believe one of them is not the illumination, because it would say something like that. So I'm not actually going to plug in the orange stands for illumination. I'm actually not going to plug in this illumination wire. So we have these 4 wires that are going to be connected to these 4 wires. Now hopefully once I plug them in, everything could be connected properly, and I turn on the Bluetooth and we just have a dandy old time. But we'll see after I get the instructions that I conveniently left inside my house. So remember how I was trying to figure out which of those 2 wires would be connected to the ignition? I had one of those
I'm that nigga
moments and realized all I have to do is use my handy dandy multimeter, click the ignition on. If it reads 12 volts, that's the ignition wire. If it's the other one that doesn't read anything, then we eliminate one that isn't the ignition. If they both read 12 volts, then we're back to square one all over again. So boom, right? We have the 2 wires there. Those are 2 wires. I don't know which one's ignition. I don't know which one is what the other one is. Anyway, we got the key in the ignition. Multimeter on 12 volts to see. So I'm gonna crank it on. Right? I'm gonna touch this wire here. What is that? 12 volts. So that's connected to the ignition. Now if we check the other one, let me stick it in here. Boom, it's touching. Nothing at all. No reading at all. So one of these is the ignition and the other one is not. Hopefully. Alright, since it's getting dark out, I'm gonna use the flash. But now we have all the connectors wired together. I'm praying that this works, because I do not want to blow up my car. I don't want to burn any fuse. Well, there's a fuse inside the radio, so if anything pops, it'll be that. But the fuse inside my fuse box will blow first, hopefully. But now's the moment of truth where we plug the harnesses in and see if I actually get power. Alright, so we loomed up now. Everything's connected. I'm gonna probably come in and rip these waterproof connectors off. Maybe just the single ones, not the double ones. The double ones seem to be very secure, but a couple of the single ones came off. And I'll probably change to these here that I got because they kept coming off. But the key's in the ignition now. It's the moment of truth to see if it comes on. You click it, and we are live. Now I don't have the antenna. Yeah, the radio's not gonna work. Oh shit, the radio's working? All right, stop doing that. Stop doing that. I need to check to see which speakers it's coming through, but it literally, it's on. I wired this myself and it's on. I can't even begin to like describe what I'm feeling right now, you know? I was very, very nervous about doing this because wiring is a very intimidating thing if you've never done it before. Granted, where I currently work, I do some wiring, but it's very basic level and it's like very low stakes. Not a car, something that I can easily replace, kind of, you know? But I did it. And you can do it too. So hopefully this video helps you. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try and help you as best as I can. I'm going to test the Bluetooth feature right now to see if that works. The radio works, surprisingly, even though the antenna is not connected. But the antenna came up in the back. I actually have an antenna. But I want to see the Bluetooth connectivity. That's what I'm most concerned about. Thanks for watching. And stay tuned for the next episode. I don't know what it's going to be, but stay tuned. I'm looking back at the days that we both had. I go to bed and I dream so hard. We don't mix kids running in the front yard.